Hello and welcome to Innovate Leader Podcast. This is a session where I share some critical leadership values that will equip and enable you as a leader to build highly productive teams. So today's word is active listening. And I think this is a word that many of us as leaders understand. And we understand it from a literal perspective because every engagement, I'm sure, that we have in whatever sense, that the aspect of listening and active listening comes in as a critical one. But it's also one of those statements or words that we also don't practice to the latter because of the many expectations, dilemmas, issues that we go through as leaders, and we don't have enough time to actually actively listening in our engagement with our teams, in our engagement with our colleagues, in our engagement with our peers. And that's what also makes a number of us as leaders then have issues in terms of engagement with our teams, which then result into the aspect of lack of productivity. So what does active listening means? It means, from my perspective, that actually entails three things. Number one is engaging with your team members without judgment, or withholding your judgment as you engage with your team members. And this is very critical because it's very easy for us to really pass judgment as we engage with our team members, but active listening entails that you withhold your judgment and actually listen and engage with your team members in a way that you don't pass judgment in the course of the conversation. And number two, it entails being reflective as you engage with your team member in a conversation in a specific matter that you're discussing. Be reflective of the conversation and the agenda that is being passed, or the message that is being passed in the conversation. So this way then you'll be able to understand your team member or your colleague's point of view, even as you also engage later, and for them to be able to really understand your point of view. Number three, it entails being curious. And curious is engaging, asking questions, asking clarification where needs be. And when we're able to do these three things, we're able to withhold our judgment, we're able to be reflective, we're able to be curious in our conversations, then we're building our active listening skills consistently. And exercising or practicing active listening has three benefits to your team, especially as you build highly productive teams. And one, it helps in terms of building your trust, because as you withhold judgment, as you reflect, as you become curious, then your team members understand that you trust them. Number two, it opens door for coaching conversation, because coaching is about listening and active listening. So if you are not actively listening to your colleague, your team member, then you're not coaching them, you're not opening doors for you to coach them. And number three is it strengthens your conversation, because if your conversation is not meaningful, then definitely there is higher chance that there will be lack of engagement with your team member, and definitely there will be lack of productivity in the end. So practice active listening. I hope I've added value to you, and my name is Gilbert Angana, or Coach Gilbert. I'm the CEO of Ascent Leadership Group, and our focus is actually to be your thinking partner, your coaching partner, and we partner with you in training your leaders and your team for purposes of improving their engagement and productivity. Thank you very much, and see you in the next episode.